Hello YouTube! I'm Brian, the American in Taiwan, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode number 5 of the Parade of Food, the Taiwanese Parade of Food. And this week's episode is going to feature, as I said in the last episode, the iconic Taiwanese dish, beef noodles, or niu mian. So, now, where did I get these noodles? I left my place today with my wife and son, and after we picked him up from preschool, and we went from there, from his preschool, and we walked down our street for about 10 minutes, and then we came to this place right here. This is the first picture. This is just like outside on the street level right there. You can see there's the green and red sign that says beef noodles. The bottom part there you can see is the bowl, and obviously the top right there you can see the horns of the cow. It's kind of a cool design. I kind of like that. Okay, so here is the front of the store right here, the very front. They were closed when we first got there, so we had to wait a little while for them to open up and get underway. But yeah, there you go. It's a pretty attractive storefront. They don't really have an English name. It really just says beef noodles. But in Mandarin you can see, well, if you look really closely, you can see right there the green and then the white characters. That says Shi Fang Jai. And that is the Mandarin name of the place. So there you go, for those of you who can read and understand that. Okay, and then here's a picture of me inside of the restaurant with the pretty cool sign. And then here's a picture of me and my son Liam, who, like I said, we had picked him up from preschool, and we're just kind of being silly. Okay, moving on. So now the food. I got it to go, obviously, because I knew I was going to be filming this much later. So they put the noodles in a bag, and also there's some, you see those green vegetables right there? Those are bok choy. If I can hold this up closer, maybe you guys can see right there. Those are about the thickness of the noodles right there. So they're decently thick. And then separately inside this tub right here that they put it in, this is my soup right here. So it is beef soup. I know it's red, but that's because I chose to go with the tomato beef broth, and I think that's going to work out really well. I've had that kind of thing before. Let me see if I can find a piece of beef in there for you guys to see. Okay, so difficult to see, but there's one of the pieces of beef. So there's definitely beef in there. It hasn't been left out. They're not hiding. And then down right there, those are what I believe are wolfberries, which I've talked about in my instant noodle episode. And the price of my bowl of noodles and soup was 120 new Taiwan dollars. So there you go, guys. I'm going to have to go and put this inside of the microwave and mix them together and heat them up, and that's going to take a little bit of time. So while that's going on, I'm going to give you a little bit of backstory to the dish of the beef noodles and how it came to be here in Taiwan. Okay, so that's heating up, and I'm going to give you guys some of the backstory here on this dish. Even though this is a very popular dish and people always bring it up when they're talking about Taiwanese cuisine, it actually has its roots in China. Cows in Taiwan were, in the old days, they were considered to be very important because of their use to farmers. And they were mainly used to plow fields. And because farmers had a close relationship with the animals, the earlier residents of Taiwan, they didn't really eat beef. As a matter of fact, you know, I've even had students of mine in the past tell me in conversation that they cannot eat beef because of their religious beliefs, and it all kind of links back to that. Anyway, things started to change in the closing days of the Chinese Civil War, when nationalist KMT refugees came from China and started to flood into Taiwan. The refugees, they came from all different areas of China, and they brought with them their culture and their memories of how things were back home. And according to some accounts, Taiwan's very own special beef noodle soup was first cooked up by a military family living down south in Kaohsiung, who were trying to like recreate this kind of Sichuan flavored dish. So that's kind of the origin of that. Like beef noodles are brought over here by nationalist Chinese refugees from the Civil War. They settle here and they start cooking this, and it picks up, and nowadays everybody likes it. So there you have it, guys. I hope you found that bit of backstory interesting. Now let's try this food. Okay, so everything has been heated up in the microwave, and I've mixed over here, I've mixed the noodles with the broth. So I've had to divide, because there was so much soup and so much noodles, I've had to divide my beef noodle soup into 2 different containers. So I'll just show those to you guys right now. So here's the first one. As you can see, there it is. It's a clear glass kind of bowl, so you can see it right there. There's a bit of beef on the bottom. That's one of the containers. And then the other container is a lot fuller, and there it is. So you can see on the bottom there that there's some bok choy, and there's the wolfberries, and yeah, I'm going to get stuck into this. Let me try this very carefully. I'm going to show you what these noodles look like. So there we go. There's the noodles. Let me bring it down a little bit. See them? They look nice. Let's have some of these here noodles. Okay. So like I said, these noodles are a few hours old, and the broth is a few hours old, but it's held up well, and it tastes just as good as I expect it would before. The noodles themselves are quite good. They have a very, very kind of chewy, spongy texture. Dare I say they're how Q? They're very Q, as the Taiwanese would say. So those are good. I have nothing but good things to say about the noodles themselves. Let's try what else there is to try. Alright, here's one of those tomatoes I had mentioned that I have because I ordered the tomato beef broth. So let me show you that. There we are. Bit of tomato there. Let's see how that tastes. Okay, very, very good. Very, very flavorful tomato. Now the very last thing is to try, well, obviously the beef, because it's beef noodle soup, right? Okay, so here there we are. There you go, guys. That's the cut of beef right there. Looking good. There's some fat on there that you can see. And I expect that'll be good. I expect it'll be tender. Let's find out. Wow. Yeah, no, that was really, really good. That was really, really, really good. I mean, I've had beef noodles, like obviously quite a few times, right? Because I've been living in Taiwan since 2012. But that's really, really good. That ranks up there with probably the top 3, right? Definitely. I mean, that meat is really, really, really soft, really tender, right? It's got a really, really nice flavor to it. And yeah, it's exactly what you want it to be, right? You don't want like a tough piece of like beef jerky kind of meat that is all stringy and gets stuck in your teeth or whatnot. You want something that's like soft, tender, and melt in your mouth like that, and that's kind of like exactly what it is. So yeah, all of that is good. There's really only one more thing to do, and that's to try the broth, right? Because the broth is obviously very, very important in this dish. So let me give that a go. Let me set these chopsticks down. Now to try a bit of the broth, because it's important in any soup dish. That's good. That's good. The tomatoes really, really add a lot to it. I think if there was no tomato in the soup, that it would be like rather bland, because I didn't get like any kind of like pepper or chili or anything like that, like special in there to like amp up the flavor. So yeah, I'm really, really glad I decided to go with the tomato for my beef broth. It worked out really, really well. And yeah, this is great. Like right now it's summertime, so it's not exactly like the perfect time to eat this. It's rather hot, but if this was like wintertime when it's really, really cold outside, this would definitely hit the spot. If it was like really rainy and like dreary outside, like let's say it was a typhoon day, this would definitely hit the spot. So there you have it, guys. That was the iconic beef noodle soup, or Niu Mian. For the next episode, I'm thinking that I'm going to retry on camera the guabao, which is, for lack of a better term, kind of like a Taiwanese sandwich. Now, I know I already tried it before in a previous video, not part of the Food Parade series, but that was not a classic guabao. And a friend of mine, a friend of the channel, I should say, personally requested that I do this one. So, I mean, for him, I must oblige. So be sure to tune in next time when I do a Food Parade video. Alright guys, thanks a lot for watching. Remember to subscribe, rate, give me a thumbs up please, and share. And in the comments below, let me know if you've ever tried Niu Mian, or beef noodle soup as it's called in English. And if you did you like it? Yes or no? And if you never had it, then maybe just tell me what your favorite kind of soup is, if any. Let me know that down in the comments. Pop that right down there. Okay, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.